Well, they also might need some help in their pitching staff if Domingo Germán keeps going out there with a little rosin action before he gets to the mound. Let's get into it. James Hoye checking him out and told him to wash his hands when he went back to the dugout because he had too much rosin on. He had a great start, by the way. Struck out 11 over 6 in the third. And then again, they're checking out his hands. And I mean, Aaron Boone at least said, oh, they told him he had too much rosin on his pinky and he didn't wash it off well enough. They literally, he said that. I listened to an interview separately on Sirius the other day with Boone yesterday, saying on his pinky. And we have some sound to run, I believe. So let's throw that out there with Aaron Boone on the rosin situation, followed by Rocco Baldelli, Twins manager, who was the only one who was actually kicked out of the game.
Quite a few conversations with the umpire. What happened there? What exactly did they see on Germán's hands?
They didn't see anything. Just there was tackiness, from rosin. But he doesn't hit the rosin out there, but he hits the rosin before he comes out. So it was just a level that caught his attention.
When that happens, typically if they feel a tackiness, they tell the pitcher to most likely leave the game. What was the understanding of him staying in and then him telling him to wash?
I just don't think it reached a level because I think any time a pitcher's out there, there's always something that you get a little bit from the rosin. So basically it was wash your hands and make sure that the rosin is and that's all it is.
Obviously everyone that was watching the game could see the same thing that we were seeing, and their pitcher was warned or asked to clean his hand off of the rosin that was on his hand, because sometimes if you do use rosin, it will get especially tacky. He was warned. He didn't fully comply, I would say, with the warning from what I was told, and was still allowed to keep pitching. So that's it. I just don't agree with that in principle. I do appreciate the courtesy that pitchers around the league will get when the umpires ask them to, remove some of that rosin from their hand, rosin and sweat, or whatever you want to call it. I would expect all teams and all players to get that courtesy, and they have. And I think overall the umpires have done a good job of that. But when he comes back out, doesn't comply with what he was asked to do, has something on his hand that he shouldn't.
Wow. Okay. And then from Domingo Germán through an interpreter, he said the discussion was intense. There was a moment there where maybe I felt that things were going to get out of hand, but I was able to explain and tell them I have a rosin bag that's in the area of the dugout where I sit all the time. Now, our stat-obsessed friends in the baseball community said spin rates dropped for him after that third inning. Byron Buxton, actually, who's not the most vocal guy out there, he spoke to Dan Hayes at The Athletic at one point and said the ball was moving in ways they hadn't seen before and scouting reports had not reported before. Here's a tweet from Jeremy Meschino. Domingo Germán spin rates, first 3 innings, Domingo Germán spin rates after the umps told him to wash his hands. All of them down somewhat significantly, I would say. That is a notable change there, and that picked up a lot of traction on Twitter. AJ Pierzynski, you're up first.
Yeah, well, we had this conversation with Joe West. How is an umpire supposed to touch a guy's finger? Here's your Italian Todd right here, your Italian jersey right here. How's he supposed to touch the finger and know if it's rosin? If I'm a pitcher and I got sticky crap all over my hands and I got spider tack or whatever, and the umpire comes over, I just take a little rosin, dab it on there, comes over and goes, "What's on your hand?" I go, "Rosin in the dugout." You can't test me. Go over there and look at my rosin I have in the dugout. Okay, well then, since you play for the Yankees, you wash it off. Oh, by the way, you didn't wash it off? It's fine. You keep pitching. Don't worry about, you have 10 strikeouts in like 4 innings. You've never done that in your career? Oh, yeah, just stick with it. Yeah, it's bull crap, by the way. And then I love Rocco Baldelli when he said it's rosin and sweat or whatever else they want to put in it. He was on it. He knew what he was doing. Aaron Boone, you can say it was rosin. I love you, Booney. It wasn't, and maybe it was just rosin. Why wasn't he using the rosin on the field then? If it was just rosin, just use the rosin on the field. That's why they have specific rosin to put on the field. Did the umpires go over and test the rosin in the dugout that he was using? I don't think they did. They needs to use the rosin on the field. They told him to wash it off. He didn't. He should have been ejected. The worst part of this whole thing, Rocco Baldelli is the only one that got ejected on the whole field. Why did he get ejected? Because he was arguing a point that we don't want sticky stuff on the pitchers? He should have stayed in the game. They should have thrown out the whole Yankees training staff. Whoever had the rosin, Domingo Germán, he should have been gone. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I think it's dumb. I think it's a bad rule. We need to come up with something that every pitcher can use. Have it on the mound. Say, here, this is what you can use. Umpires check it before the game. Take a bottle or something, put it in the ground, have a little hidden compartment. I don't know. Have something like that. But we can't have this happen because it's happened. The pitchers are still using sticky stuff. I don't care what anybody says.
You know, what's bullshit is you use that Yankee all the time. Oh, because he's a Yankee. That's baloney, dude. We could throw that out the window. It's Domingo Germán. It's not Mariano Rivera on the mound. All right, so we could throw that out.
Did they use different balls for Aaron Judge last year? Did they use different balls for Aaron Judge?
For 2, they checked him. The umpire did a heck of a job for 2, checking everything. Gave back, watched hand. He checked again. Guess what? It's fully not off. Go do it again. Umpires did a hell of a job. It's rosin. That's what it was. They both said it. It's not. That's the way it goes. People use rosin all the time. For you to speculate saying what's underneath, that's not a good job on your part either. That's speculation. So umpires did a great job. They did what they were supposed to do, and everybody's making this fit about what happened. He had rosin on his hand. That's the conclusion, and we move on. We're making a big to-do about this whole thing when it doesn't make any sense, bro. You get all fired up over this stuff. It really wasn't that big of a deal. To me, in my opinion, we talk about spin rate. All right, I'm looking at eye test. I'm watching a guy pitch. Yeah, he had a lot of strikeouts. He pitched a heck of a game, but still gave up 3 hits. Give credit to the pitcher one time.
Buxton said he failed the eye test.
Yeah.
He said
I go off the guys in the box, and I go off 10 strikeouts in 4 innings, which he's never done before. And that's the eye test for me. And I can speculate all I want, but the Yankees used different balls for Aaron Judge last year. The MLB came out and got caught doing it, that they were using different balls for him when he was in the home run chase. And second of all, okay, they said wash it off. He didn't wash it off. It was still on there, and his numbers went significantly down after they told him to wash it off. So the eye test is in the spin rates and the results.
He pitched a hell of a game. Give him credit for where it's due. Umpires did a great job controlling the situation. Yeah, if I'm Rocco Baldelli, I'm getting pissed off too at the same time. I'm getting thrown out, but they did do the right thing. He said it too as well. They have to find a new product or something because guess what? Rosin's been around for a long, long time. People got to understand that.
So my thing is, which is it? Did he wash it off and his spin rate went down, or did he not wash it off? Because that was the whole, nobody would have been pissed. Nobody would have been pissed if he didn't come back out and James didn't say something to him. Hey, you know what? And then we get the mouth, I told you to wash your hands. And he found it on his pinky. His pinky, that's not affecting spin rate. So one of the things didn't happen. It either didn't get washed off or the spin rate wasn't affected. And he's throwing ripping. You got to make an effect on your spin rate. You got to bump it by at least 180 RPMs because it's revolutions per minute from a 60-foot distance that a ball takes 0.3 seconds to travel. So if you're not bumping it by 200 RPMs, it's not even affecting it. You're not seeing a difference. And his changeup and his fastball were like, I don't know, like it was under 100. Curveball, I think, and one of the other pitches, maybe his sinker were down. Well, the less spin you have on your sinker, the more it's going to sink. And your curveball, if you're not bumping it by 200 RPMs, I think that thing was like 140 some RPMs difference.
No, the less spin you have on your sinker sinks because it catches the seams the way you throw it. So that's if you're throwing a knuckleball, the less spin you have, the more it moves. Why would you want less spin on a sinker? Because the way it comes out and your finger pressure, that makes it move more.
No, less spin creates more friction, which enables the ball to go down. So basically it induces more vertical break. Vertical induced break is what it's called.
Then why, when you put sticky stuff on your hand, you throw a four seamer, does it stay up more? You just
When you put
doesn't
more
make
on,
sense.
yes. When you put more on, because it spins more, cutting through the air, more friction. And that makes it not go down more. A sinker is different. So if you watch a sinker spin rate, if you throw a really good sinker, your spin rate is going to be around 21 to 2250. And it's going to go down more. The ball's going to drop more because of friction. The more it spins through the air, it's fighting friction the whole way. That's why a four-seamer has life. That's why when Verlander went to Houston and they were using spider tack galore, that ball was getting extra spin rate at the top. I mean, he jumped his at that time like 400 RPMs when he went there. Like it's all science. Anything to say? Why is James Hoye coming out and checking him again? Like, you told him to wash his hands, check it again after the inning, and then he said he found some on his pinky. I think it got blown up more than what it is. I texted with Higgy, who was catching that day, and I was like, what did you hear out there? He said he told him, he said he didn't like something that was on his hand. And he said, I thought the end of it ended up being taken care of. And then after the inning, he came back and said something to him again. Why? Why did he say something to him again? Like to check to see if he washed his hands? What is it, COVID? We got the 1-9er putting some extra antibacterial in our hands?
Because it's paranoia. There is sticky stuff paranoia. We had sign stealing paranoia for years. The pitch comm has at least helped that a little bit, right?
when it works.
When it works. It works most of the
Yeah,
time.
it does.
And they put their glove over it, so there's still paranoia.
Yes. But there's sticky stuff paranoia. Because spin rates are fluctuating a ton with guys. It's weird. I mean, it's happened over the years. Like you're looking at the average sink, especially when they did the crackdown, then it starts to creep back up.
So is everybody, since their spin rate goes up now, so everybody's cheating as a pitcher? And I'm not trying to argue with you.
No, we're
but
looking
I'm
at
saying,
the MLB average.
Yeah,
No.
but when it fluctuates, like, oh, he must have something on his hand, man. That's just not how it goes. That's just the way. Maybe they develop something like, hey, man, try a new grip. Try a different form. You know, put your arm angle here, move it here. Like, how does Max Scherzer's fastball always rise every time I faced him? Did I think he had something on? No. It's just, I just find it comical sometimes. The guy Germán had 6 strikeouts in the first 3 innings. All of a sudden, the next 3 innings, he had 5 strikeouts. So he must have had something on his hand. So I don't know. I just find it hard to believe.
I think the
It's
league.
not hard to believe. They caught him with something on his hands.
And he still had 5 strikeouts when they took it off, though. That's where I'm confused. So where's the difference? I don't get it. So he had nothing on his hand, still got 5 more. So were the batters that bad? Like, that's where I'm confused.
The proof is in what James Hoye said. He told him to wash it off. He didn't wash it off. I didn't know there was like you get a warning. You get a warning, Scott. Your hands are sticky, so you get to go in and wash off whatever you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
And come back out. And we'll check you again. I thought it was like, hey, we found something sticky. Shoot, see you later. The few guys that have been caught, they go over and they go, let me touch your fingers. They touch their fingers and they go, they don't even wait.
Mm-hmm.
They take their glove and they walk off the field and they say, we're going to take this in evidence locker, wherever that is. And, your fingers are sticky. Well, they didn't do that. They said, your fingers are sticky. That's why Rocco was mad. Not because he had the sticky stuff. Like, the sticky stuff is whatever he had. If he had rosin, great. Fine. But it was more about he did it. He got caught. They didn't eject him. They let him keep pitching. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I think Rocco Baldelli got so mad is that, hey, why does he get a free pass?
I think the league and the umpires are confused. They do not know how to handle this. Do you agree with that? Because even like what you're saying, hey, Hoye shouldn't be checking him so much if that's the stance. Still, like, why is he confused on how he should be operating and monitoring everyone? And also, it's probably pretty tough to tell if it's just rosin. Guys have sunscreen. Guys have hair gel. I just think, I don't know how you crack this. No, Kratzy? It's easy to tell it's only rosin. You're good to go?
You can tell. Because the reason you can tell is because rosin doesn't leave a film on your hand. Over that amount of time, it doesn't leave something on your hand. Yes, you'll have rosin. You can have extra rosin on your hand. Day game, you can have suntan lotion. Like you're not allowed. You're allowed to wear suntan lotion. If you go suntan lotion and rosin, and you have it on the back of your hand, or you have guys would put it on their non-throwing arm, and you would mix it, whether on purpose or not on purpose, it was on purpose. You're trying to get a grip. Your hand, you'll have excess on these 3 fingers, and you'll see it.
It's shinier too.
It's to me, it's if you were to put level of blame from least to greatest on this whole altercation being totally blown out of proportion, Rocco Baldelli handled it the best. There's no way he can stay in the game after he saw what he saw. I don't think Domingo did anything that awful. And then there's anybody else that you think's involved in this, and then the biggest person is Hoye. Like I haven't seen an umpire. I haven't seen a game where an umpire scolds somebody, and then when they come back out, tell them again. It was like, hey, you were arguing balls and strikes. Don't do that again. And then comes back out and is like, hey, you were arguing balls and strikes, so make sure you don't do that again. I know I already told you. No, like anytime you go back to an umpire goes back to you, that's it. Your day is over. So I don't see what his deal was. Is my thing.
But why? Go ahead, Frage.
I think it's one of those where if I'm a pitcher, I mean, I don't know exactly what was said. Here's my hands. Like, what do you want me to do? I just washed them. Here, checked again. All right, go wash them again. I mean, it's weird. It's definitely weird. It's a situation where they're going to have to figure out, because I think it happened in another game. They had to switch gloves the other day too, as well, in the same day. So it's like
With Nestor,
yeah. So it's what's going on? I think you got to give credit to the guy. He had rosin. That's what they figured at the end. Guy pitched a hell of a game, whether it was the first 3 innings or the last 3 innings. I think he did great in both, with rosin or without. Give credit to the pitcher, and we move on.
Why didn't he use the rosin on the field? If it's just rosin, he didn't use the rosin on the field. That's my question. And if the roles were reversed, if Domingo Germán was pitching on the Minnesota Twins, would he have been kicked out of the game?
Oh my
God!
God.
Don't
just
do that,
asking.
AJ.
That's such a bogus take, man. You gotta
Why?
think, I mean, it's absolutely
Why?
bogus.
Nestor Cortez pitches on the Yankees. He didn't hit something on his glove, didn't get kicked out.
Yeah, but he had to change his glove. The next day, the guy used the exact same 44. It's the 4 backwards and the 4 forwards with the white on it. So you could say, oh, well, they're looking at Yankees guys. They're trying to crack down on Yankees guys. Don't play that card. There's no special with the Yankees in that sense.
You're right. Aaron Judge didn't get special balls last year. That's a fact.
We're talking about
Barry Bonds got special balls when he was going for the home run chase. Why are you not? I mean, if you don't have the ball marked.
No, he got special balls that were proven to go farther through science. That's a fact.
So he was the only one?
That they know of, that they found.
Come on, don't do that.
It's tough.
Don't do that. Don't bring science in here unless you got the scientist that proves it.
Thank you.
I mean, okay.
Hey,